Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. It's the weekly reading for the week of September 30th to October the 6th. Your cards this week, Aries, we have the Crumbling Oracle card, Judgment, Six of Wands, Death, Nine of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, and the Magician. Powerful spread, Aries. Some very strong energies, as you can see. Definitely being called to reevaluate this week, awakening to something that may not be serving you in your life, and being called to clear the slate and let that go so that then you can create the life that you truly desire. It's quite a serious reading, I feel. So let's get started by reading out the Oracle card, the Crumbling. Very, very similar to the Tower energy, this Oracle card. So let's read it out. I'm an Aries too, that's why I'm just looking at the spread and going, oh gosh, I thought we were finished with these Tower moments, but obviously there's still more to come. What are you clinging on to? There is a shift happening right now where anything inauthentic can no longer survive. Relationships, jobs, social structures, anything built on shaky ground is destined to tumble down. It's happening to bring you back home to who you truly are, both individually and to society as a whole, so that you can live a life that is in alignment with who you truly are. When you're in the thick of it, it can feel like a personal attack from the universe. Have faith, because the difficult times will be your defining moments. You will be reborn in the fire. Whew. Okay, so Aries, you know what? Sometimes the universe steps in with a bit of an intervention for us. We may not have been paying attention to the smaller signs, our intuitions along the way. Some of us may have stayed in relationships that are past the use-by date, friendships that have gone toxic, jobs that are undermining our abilities. Those are just some examples. And, and the universe has a greater plan for you. We all have a higher purpose, a higher self to align with. Some of us have, soul missions. And sometimes the universe comes in with a bit of a lightning bolt to bring down any structures, relationship situations that are not in alignment with that, or that are not on your track, on your journey, to bring them down, to clear the way, to get you back on your path. That's what I really think of when I think of the Tower energy or the Crumbling energy. And in that sense, it is a blessing in disguise. So, it can seem chaotic, it can seem like, there could be pain associated with it, but it is there for your highest good, your best interests. So let's start here. Seven of Cups and Judgment. So some of you, the situation that you're being called to move on from, or that is coming down around you, was something that was built on a shaky foundation, or in a sense, it's been an illusion, an illusionary situation. So again, just mentioning those things. Is it a relationship where somebody promised you the world but delivered little? Were there hollow promises? Was it that role, that job that you were taken on, that promised you career progression, financial bonuses, incentives, salary raises, that kind of thing? But it was kind of like the carrot and the donkey just being dangled, and you never really were able to grasp onto that. You were never able to attain it. It's kind of that sort of energy where things are promised but they don't materialize. And I think, you were hoping for a long time, hanging in there, hoping that things would change. But, essentially, change is not easy for people. It's usually what we see is what we get. What we see at the start is usually what we continue to get, unless somebody is really having some sense of awakening. And that's what I think, in the recent past or around about now, some of you might still be in this energy now. You're really awakening to this illusion. You're really seeing the situation for exactly what it is. I think that there was a period of darkness for you. I think you felt like this person who was, even kept in the dark, or who just felt, you just didn't feel that sense of inner illumination, excitement, that sense of colour in yourself, because, you felt like, say, a little bit cheated, like you weren't quite getting the things that you deserved or the things that you were promised. But I think, there comes a point where universe steps in. Obviously, some very strong divine guidance energies in your reading here to help you have that revelation, to help you see the truth, so that then you can move forward in the best way that suits you. So I think you could have felt quite constricted, quite confined like these people while you're in that situation, and you've started to open your eyes, you've started to awaken through it, through this situation that's helping you along with the universe. So things could have come to a head. There could have been an argument, there could have been something that was exposed, some truth exposed, or there could have just been that inner awakening, a revelation, an insight within yourself that you thought, hang on a minute, well, I've been hanging in this situation for a certain amount of time, and I ain't seen any of these cups, so I'm just need to be, I need to be honest with myself. And I think through having that awakening, having that revelation, I think there's a sense of vulnerability to be had, because it can be quite difficult to know which way to move forward. And you might have been in that, that comfortably numb, living in the illusion, and all of a sudden you're stripped bare and you can't hide behind that anymore. Well, judgment asks you to awaken to the truth. It asks you it provides you with the final call to say, are you going to give the situation a second chance, or are you going to move on? It is judgment time. And look, I feel like you're going to move on, and I strongly feel that that is the right thing for you, Aries. I mean, look at this. There's nothing more sure in life than the cycle of birth and death. I see that in these two cards. We're literally going from death to rebirth here. Now, death comes in as another energy. I mean, look at these strong, strong energies. Death comes in to clear the slate. To clear the slate so something new can come in for you. Death comes in to end a cycle that is due to end. It could be the end of a karmic contract. You could have learned what you needed to learn from the situation. Or perhaps the situation is no longer serving your highest good. That's why we have things like Tower and Death energies that come in to clear it. Now, the only warning I need to heed here is that if we continue to hang on, that's when life gets difficult for us. And if we want to try to rebuild that tower on that same foundation, it's going to come down again in the future. So something dramatically has to change if you want to stay in the situation. If you do want to give it that second chance, then something needs to shift majorly. So if it's, you want to continue with that relationship, maybe you need to go to counseling. Somebody really needs to work on an aspect of themselves. If you're going to stay in that job, you need to have that honest, frank discussion with your manager saying, look, I need to get paid what I'm worth. It's that kind of thing. We need to change. And if not, it's time to bring it to an end. And when death comes in, we need to look it in the eye. We need to accept that sometimes it's just time to let things end, no matter how painful that can be. Remember, pain is temporary. That's why this adult looks away from death, because adults have had experience with this cycle before, because, naturally that's what happens in life. Things come to an end. And she knows that it's painful, so she's looking away and hoping that death won't come in. But, that's just a surefire way to stay in a lower level, prolonged pain that we get through staying in a situation that's no longer serving us our highest good. Death promises real alchemical transformation and spiritual growth, self-development through going through these natural cycles and rhythms of life. It promises a bright new dawn that's really willing to burst through for you. Death promises that this will become a victory ride. Yes, you might need to go through the desert first. You might need to go through, some of those ghost towns. There might be a period where you feel pretty down and, directionless. But that's going to change really, really quick. It's going to change into a victory march. That's what I see here with that Six of Wands. Not only that, but I think other people will see that change in you. I think that you will become more magnetic. I think people will say to you, what have you done different? Has something changed? Because you're going to have your head held high, and people are going to say, you know what, I think that was the right thing to do. I can really see that that's benefited you. That's what I see in that Six of Wands there. I see you going from a period where you probably did feel a little dead inside to full colour. You're moving into full colour, Aries. Surely are. And look. That sun, that new dawn on the horizon, is just ready to burst into these cards. Okay, Magician, fully awakening to your own power as the creator of your own reality, as a co-creator with the powers of the universe, through drawing into the spiritual realm and the earthly physical realm. The Magician knows that there is a magic integration, a spark, where there's the seeds of alchemy that you can create whatever you want. Awakening to the fact that you have all the tools within you to create true abundance in your life. You don't need carrots dangled in front of you. You don't need codependent situations, because you have everything you need. You are realizing your infinite potential. It's so beautiful here. Can indicate strong new beginnings, manifesting new beginnings in your life. It's the first card of the tarot deck. And what's on offer is true self-sufficiency, true abundance. Because the Nine of Pentacles is somebody who knows their value. They know, that they can create their own true abundance. And what I love about this card is that from this position, when you realize your own value, you can create your own abundance, you don't start looking for situations and people and experiences to complete you, or that you can gain something from because you need them. Because you don't need anyone else. You can create everything on your own. And then you'll start attracting in people and experiences from a place of fulfillment. So they'll just take you to the next vibrationary level. Yeah, you're really awakening to your power here, Aries. But we do have a little, well, I'm not going to say a little, actually, a big hurdle to go through first. There is a cycle that is really past its use by date that really needs to complete. It's time for the tower to fall and to be cleared away, so that you have a shiny, new, fresh foundation to become your best self and live your best life. That's what I have for you, Aries. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I wish you all the best for these powerful energies this week. Keep in mind it's a general reading. It won't be for every single one of you. Leave me a comment. I'd love to know how it's playing out in your daily life. And I'll be back here with you for another reading next week.